Yeah. Hi, Jim. Hi, Jim. Yeah, welcome to your first post game. Cole.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, Cole, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Yep. Go ahead.
Just curious, your initial takeaways on this game tonight. Some of the guys told us what they were thinking about it. Curious to get your thoughts.
What did the guys say?
The guys said that there was some defensive shortcomings and that the 3-2 zone gave them some trouble.
Yeah, we had some, as you saw, gang. We had some good stretches, but they were 3 or 4 minute type stretches, and then we had some similar 3 to 4 minute stretches where we didn't play very good, and I thought Cole was much more consistent in terms of their execution, their energy level, their communication. They were much more consistent over the 40 minutes than we were. We were just able to plug in some shorter 3 to 4 minute segments where we played well enough to, 10-2 run, and you do that a couple times, and that's where our lead came from. But our communication defensively was better at practice than it was tonight on the game floor. You don't ever like to see that. You want guys to have a bounce in their step and get excited when they get to the game floor. And we didn't have as much of that tonight as would be expected. And then that zone, we haven't played against much zone. Loyola didn't play any zone. Bradley did play some. And we executed pretty well against Bradley, but Cole played a lot of zone tonight. And we got the ball. Look, we got the ball to some good spots on the floor. But our passing, Eldon told me a long time ago, you don't catch and pass the ball in the same motion, and you don't pick up your dribble and pass it in the same motion. You catch it, you use a pass fake, you move the zone or you move the press, and then you find the open guy. And we left it at least 5 or 6 possessions on the table simply by trying to do things too quick. Catch it, pass it, same motion, pick up the dribble, pass it, same motion. Those were the ones that got deflected and got stolen. So the zone put us in those spots, guys, but it's still passing and catching. And the times where we did pass and catch, we shot a wide open shot. So just didn't execute as good as we needed to.
Ben, is it maybe a little bit more important than it would be usually to get a game like this in, considering everything that you guys continue to work on, maybe tweak and change a little bit?
Yeah, and I think also the time in between games, Cole, the opportunity to get back on the floor in between Valley weekends. So good to get out there and get the guys moving around. And again, we had some 3-4 minute stretches where we played fine, but we also had too many of those stretches where we didn't play as good as we needed to, and both those things are valuable. When you're in the middle of what would have been 2 weeks off. So good to be back on the floor. Some stuff we can learn from tonight. And then the last thing I told the guys is we've got to do a better job of getting ready for Southern Illinois than we did getting ready for tonight's game. Because like I said, I thought Cole was much more consistent over the 40 minutes with their execution and their discipline and their communication.
And then last thing, what can you tell me about Taiwan's status?
Yeah, his day-to-day could be back in practice tomorrow, or we're off tomorrow. As I say that, we have an off day tomorrow, so I would expect that he'll be back on the practice floor on Wednesday. I don't think it'll linger any longer than that. And James will also be back on the practice floor on Wednesday. So both those guys will be back, I think, on Wednesday.
Thanks, Ben.
Yep, thank you.
Coach, what have you liked about Nate's game so far that's earned him so many more minutes?
Yeah, he plays. I talked, Jim, about our consistency as a team tonight. One of the reasons why Nate has found himself in the starting lineup and is playing the minutes that he's playing is he does play at a high level in terms of his effort, his activity, his instincts. He's very consistent with those things, Jim. And for a freshman, that's not easy. And especially the role that he's found himself in and the responsibility that Nate has. And he's been able to stay pretty even keel with a high level of effort and activity. He's been very consistent with it, and then he's got the other stuff that's going to make him a great player as he goes through his career here with size and ability to make threes, and as we saw again tonight, knows when to turn down a three and drive it and get himself to the rim or get to the free throw line. But it's been his consistent effort, Jim, that's really gotten him into that spot.
Great, Coach. Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Jake, in a game like this, going into the game, is there maybe a couple of particular areas of improvement that you look to take some steps forward in a game like this? And if there was a couple of those areas that maybe rose to the top of the list going into tonight's game, what would those be? And just based on what you saw, based on seeing the game live, how do you feel like you fared in those two areas?
Yeah, I would say, Josh, a couple things coming into the game. One, really wanting to be on the game floor in the middle of the in the middle of the break between Loyola and Southern Illinois, and so getting out there and being able to play against a different opponent, to get some things on film, to get the guys in game mode before we went back to Valley play. That was one, and that was important. And then in terms of what we were looking for, Josh, we've worked a lot the last 2 weeks with competitive drills. We've worked, and talked a lot about and stressed our communication defensively, and we've had some great practices. And tonight, during the course of the game, I didn't feel like our communication, 5 guys, acting as one defensively, 5 guys talking defensively. I didn't feel like we did a good enough job over the course of the 40 minutes in that area. And then offensively, they had us a little bit off, Josh, with again playing a lot of zone. And it's great to be able to experience that in game action. It's harder to work on that and get good at that in practice. So I'm glad that they played zone. I would have liked to have handled it better, Josh, but sometimes you learn more when you make some mistakes, and so I think we'll take a lot away from this game in terms of playing against a zone.
And I would imagine a game like this can help you as you head back into league play. Certainly, you mentioned the need and the want for a game like this to avoid the longer break. But is this film in particular something that can help you leading into this weekend at Summit?
Yeah, there was, there's a couple plays that jump right to mind. There was a couple transition opportunities defensively to make a different play that cost us baskets. I don't feel like we went to the offensive glass hard enough. That's been a strength of ours, and I didn't feel like we had guys flying to the boards like we have. On the positive side of things, we had, like I said, we had a couple 3-4 minute spurts where we played good basketball tonight, and within that is going to be some things I think that can help us, pick up a little bit of confidence, pick up a little momentum, and so yeah, we will, Josh. We'll be able to take some things on both sides.
Thanks, Jake.
Okay, thanks.